YouTube channel. My name is Mangubeni and you are welcome to this page. So on one random day, I opened a TikTok page and an Instagram page where I shared my journey of becoming an advocate. So that included what I got up to on a daily basis and also the challenges that I face as somebody that does not come from a affluent or privileged background, and also someone coming from a varsity. So with all those odds stacked against me, I wanted to create a virtual diary of what my journey was like and the things that I went through to help somebody else who could find themselves in my journey in a few years to come. So here we are. I have passed my GCB and LPC exams, and I just want to take you guys through that journey, what it was like, and basically the do's and don'ts that I wouldn't do when I'm writing my exams. And first of all, let's start with the GCB bar exams. So if you completed your LLB degree after 2018, it is compulsory or mandatory for you to do the LPC exams and also the GCB bar exams, right? So with the LPC, you're basically like a PVT pupil, which that entails that you sign a contract with the LPC, and you also have got other responsibilities that you have to fulfill with the GCB as well, because you want to form part of the bar. What was the exam journey like? To be honest with you, I think for me it was by far the most traumatic experience ever, but the fact that I got through it was a point in my life where I realized that I'm quite a resilient person and I think I can get through anything. So we are going to start with the GCB bar exams, and I wrote those in August. And my first exam was the legal writing exam, which is the 8-hour exam. Honestly speaking, you think that 8 hours is very long until you don't finish in that 8 hours. Then you realize that it's actually not a very long time for you to be writing an exam. You will write that on a Wednesday. Well, I wrote that on a Wednesday. Then after that, I had a 4 days resting period, which was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then on Monday, I wrote my motions and ethics. On Tuesday, I wrote my criminal procedure. On Wednesday, I then wrote civil trials. Things I would avoid doing, or things that I did that I advise you to not do. Number one, lack of sleep. So I pulled a lot of all-nighters because I had a lot of anxiety for my exams, and honestly, I was not willing to fail. I told my brain that we are going to have to fight, and fighting means that I would study for long periods of time and getting short hours of sleep. What that resulted in is that by the time I finished my exams, I was quite exhausted and my brain capacity was not as functional as it would have been had I been well rested. So I'll definitely avoid that. With writing the 8 hours paper, I had pulled an all-nighter night before, then I went to write. That is how much I was not willing to fail legal writing. Like, it was like, you know what, I'm not even leaving it to chance. So how I studied for that is that I sat down with the exercises that we did during the year of things that we had to draft, and I looked at the memos and see where I had gone wrong, and basically the memo will tell you where and what you get marks for. So I had to ensure that getting into the exam room, I know what I'm getting marks for, and I'm including the things that actually count for marks when you're drafting a particular pleading. So let's say that you're drafting particulars of claim, and you know that particulars of claim is basically rule 18, right? So I would read the rule and then looked at the particulars of claim that I drafted during the year and see the mark that I got and look at the memo. And that's basically what I did. I did that with all the things that were in the course outline that we had to know how to draft, to actually ensure that by the time I get into the exam, I know what I'm doing. And yes, I did know what I'm doing because I passed that. Then I did motions and ethics, and I also passed those. And for those, I would say that night before as well, I didn't sleep. And you see what I'm talking about. Night before, I didn't sleep as well. Then I went to write my motions and ethics paper. Then we had criminal procedure. By the time I was writing criminal procedure, how was my brain capacity? because why? Because of lack of sleep and exhaustion. I wouldn't advise that, and I started like forgetting things that I knew, to a point that like I would leave the exam room knowing that I didn't know a particular question, but as I go outside I would start remembering and I'll be like, shucks, you know. That happened to me. So I'd advise, please sleep, please really sleep. I ended up having an oral for criminal procedure and civil, and the orals went well. I think that when I got to the orals I was well rested. I still pulled the all-nighter day before the orals, but I was well rested and I knew my work. And I think that my biggest strength is articulation. So I'm quite articulate when it comes to having to explain things to a person than having to write them. Yes, my writing is quite good, but I think when I'm under pressure I kind of like forget. So if you allow me to tell you what I know, I'll probably be able to convince you quicker than I would if I have to now sit down, because I think when I sit down and I have to draft it, then it needs a lot of thought into it, which then means that I take longer with answering questions, and that takes me to my second point, not finishing my papers, time management. So there's this thing where, because I wanted all my papers to be perfect, I ended up not finishing all of them, because sometimes you would answer so much for a 2-mark question and then leave out a 5-mark question. Please avoid doing that. I didn't do that though. The question I didn't finish with the 2-mark ones and the 1-mark ones, which I still think those marks count. So to avoid that, during the year, please sit with past question papers and actually try answering them and see if you can finish those papers within an hour. The more you do that, the faster you're going to learn how to write, and also the quicker you're going to learn how to think, so that you can answer those questions in that 1 hour that you were given. Then the third thing that I think I would avoid doing is eating junk food. And eating a lot of drinking a lot of like Monsters and energy drinks and things like that. Guys, those things, when they leave your system, like when the Monster leaves my system, I'd be so down and out. And because obviously I'm writing the next day, I need to drink another one. So for a whole 5 days or 6 days, every day I was taking in an energy drink. I don't know how other people survive without them, but for me, they pulled me through. But I would avoid that because it's really not healthy, and to a larger extent it does have an impact on your health. So if you have other better coping mechanisms, I'll say please try find those. I do not have any for myself, because as I'm telling you now, I was drinking a lot of energy drinks to get through, and yeah, I made it. I was called to the bar, so it worked. But it didn't work because, did it work? No, it did work. Can't say it didn't work, because it actually did work. Because even with my orals, I still drank a Monster, I still drank an energy drink night before, and I still didn't sleep, and I made it through. But I would honestly think that that has an impact on your health, so please don't do it. Then let's move on to basically the goods that I did. Number 1, having a study group. So I was fortunate enough to be blessed with brothers and a sister at the bar that I took all my exams with, meaning like we were all doing pupillage, and we were all studying together and going through the journey together. What that does is it gives you emotional support and also academic support. So with things that you don't know, your friend may be able to explain it better to you. And I think that's why I'm mostly grateful that they were there, because we knew that this person is good in this and this person is good in that. So we would then help each other get through that exam season. So I'd say that please do have a study group or someone that you at least study with. For me, it was my friends, and yeah, we all made it through, and I'm so grateful that the journey has been so fulfilling for all of us. And then the second thing that I did that I'd advise you to do is preparation. So because I stay an hour away from Sandton, I decided that I did not want to find myself in a situation where my car sparkle is stuck on the side of the road and I miss my exam, or I am late because I'm stuck in traffic, or I oversleep, then I can't make my way in time to go write my exam. So what I did was that me and my friend find a place to book for that exam period. So for that whole week, we stayed in a place that was very close to Sandton, basically a 5 minutes drive away from Sandton, which allowed us to make our way in and out of Sandton as we wrote our exams. What that meant for me was I was able to actually go take a nap when I was tired. I was able to go take a shower, eat, and always be freshened up when I was going to study. And I do think that that honestly did save me quite a lot, because you will see in my LPC exams journey, Sparkle did break down. Luckily enough, Sparkle broke down night before. But the fact that Sparkle broke down meant that I really dodged a bullet by avoiding, being far from JSA while I was writing my GCB exams. So that is something that I would do. I say please prepare. If you know that you stay an hour from Sandton, if you know that you need to drive, if you can't book, I'd say that maybe you could try waking up earlier. So if the exam is at 8, please make sure that by 6 o'clock you're leaving home, because you don't know if you're going to be stuck in traffic. You don't know if your tires are going to be worn out for you along the way, where they just burst or anything like that. So to avoid all that, please be prepared. Additionally, the third thing that I did that I would honestly tell you to do is, if you know that you suffer from anxiety and things like that, please get medication for that, because exam season is definitely not the time for you to be stressed. It's definitely not the time for you to be dealing with anxiety. So please get that checked as soon as possible and get your medications ready so that you are not struggling, and take care of your mental health. If you need to be seeing your therapist, please do that. If you need somebody to talk to, please do that, because the journey of writing exams is just as stressful as when you're in varsity. So the same coping mechanisms that you'd use in varsity, I'll say also use them when you are writing your GCB bar exam. Then let's move on to LPC. So with the LPC, it was a beautiful journey as well, but it did have challenges. So one of them is that my car broke down, and to avoid that, please check your car, please check your mode of transportation. Is everything smooth sailing? Because that was a stressful period. While I was stuck on the side of the road for 2 hours, I could have been studying, and also my friends also could have been studying, because at that moment I'm stuck. I'm calling Linda, I'm calling Twanelo, they're all coming to assist me, but I'm taking away their study time. So to avoid situations like that, please work out on your mode of transport. I'm grateful for my friends. I think my friends were by far the most supportive people for me in this journey, and I'll always say thank you to them. And then something else that I would avoid doing is basically time management again. So I think it's going to be repetitive if I still share the same things that I would do or avoid with the LPC exams, because they're quite similar. So I'm just going to jump around with the LPC. With the LPC, luckily enough, you start with your motions and civil, then it's criminal procedure and ethics. Then after that, you rest for a week. Then that next Monday, you then write your 5 hours now legal writing paper. And as we all know, because I struggle with time management, I didn't finish my LPC papers. I didn't finish my legal writing. I didn't finish motions. I didn't finish civil. I didn't finish criminal procedure. I just didn't finish. And that is a bad thing. I passed all my LPC exams. No orals, no rewrites, no nothing like that. But those marks could have saved me from failing. Well, I didn't fail, but I'm just saying that 1 or 2 mark that you failed to finish could save you. So please make sure that you work on that. That's something that, honestly speaking, I would avoid. But nevertheless, I think it sums up my journey of writing exams. I would say that all the best to future pupils. All the best to anyone that may decide to join the bar or be an advocate, because it is an absolutely fulfilling journey. I'm grateful that I passed both my LPC and my GCB bar exams, because it's a dream come true. I am closing off 2024 in the most amazing way possible, because this has been a dream for me and it is a dream come true. Look out for the next video. Please make sure that you follow me on all my social media platforms. I am on TikTok and Instagram, and it is Becoming Advocate Ngobeni. I do host lives and a lot of like information sessions, so please do not miss that. And also, if you need anything, if you're starting, if you are preparing to be an advocate and you want to do pupillage, please reach out to me. I'll always be there to assist. All the best, guys, and see you guys in my next video. Thank you. Subscribe before I leave. Please share it in your student groups. Please share it in anybody that's doing law. Please ask them to subscribe to this YouTube channel. It will really be highly appreciated, because I'm trying to grow this page. We are on 100 subscribers right now. I am hoping that by this time next year at least we would have been monetized, but nevertheless I'm grateful for the journey, and I'm grateful that I get to give you guys a front sit in my visual diary of Becoming Advocate Ngobeni. Like I said, my name is Risima Ngobeni. See you guys in my next videos. Bye.